So we have done a lot in this series. We have programmed drums, we've written chords, we've written bass lines, melodies, samples, we've recorded audio, arranged, did a light mix, talked about automation, and now we're ready to bounce this out. I'm gonna show you how to bounce out your song and export your stems correctly, and then we can even talk about how you can play this live in session view. We're going to export our track and bounce out the stems, but before we even do that, I want to show you guys something, which is collect, all, and save, which is going to be a lifesaver. And basically what this does is it takes any audio files that you imported and worked with, and it saves it locally to your folder so that in the event that you wanted to collaborate with some friends and send them these folders, they're going to get the audio files and all of the assets that are needed. Trust me on this one. So the benefit of hitting collect all and save is that when I open up my Ableton project with all of my information, I get this samples folder, and now everything is in one nice place. So now let's export the actual track, which we're gonna do by going to File and Export, or Shift-Command-R for short. And we just wanna make sure that the settings are what we want them to be. So I want a WAV file, and I also want an MP3 file. So I'm going to hit Export, and I'm going to save it to my folder here, and I'm gonna write this as how do I make music _ rough mix. And let's save that. If we wanted to export the individual stems in the event that we wanted to send them out to be mixed, what we can do is we can actually highlight these and hit Command for all of them, and then hit our shortcut Command-Shift-R, and then select tracks only. And then when we do this and export, I can make a new folder. How do I make music stems? And then I can save my stems to that folder. Stems are the individual tracks of a song, and they are really helpful to send to people when you are collaborating or working with a mixer. So this is also very helpful to know. One thing that sets Ableton Live apart is session view, which is something that I mentioned in the very beginning of this series. But I want to show you how you can actually use it. And the way that we do that is by hitting Tab to go to session view. And you can see that all of the tracks that we worked on throughout this series are here. They're just empty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the clips from the corresponding tracks and put them in the clips in session view. I'm going to do this with a few different instruments. I've taken a bunch of these clips from arrangement view and I've copied and pasted them into session view next to each other. And I can either play them individually or I can play them all together by launching a scene. And one of the great benefits of session view is that we can mix and match in this order, and we can use this for performing our songs live. So I'm going to just mix and match a little bit here and show you some different scenes. So I have a different combination of a bunch of these tracks, and I'm gonna just rename these different scenes. I'm gonna call this my intro. I'm gonna call this my verse, pre-chorus, my chorus, post-chorus. When you're working with these clips, you can double click them and open up this window here. And you can hit things like loop to make sure that they're going to loop. Session view can be really helpful on a couple different levels. First of all, with live performances, but also with compositions. I basically adapted our arrangement to session view so that you can see all of the layers side by side when I trigger them through a scene. And if you're also interested in live looping and incorporating that as part of your performance or just as part of your jam, this session view is also a really good way to do that. In other words, session view is like a blank canvas where you can play around, live loop, see your arrangements in different forms, and even perform live. So there you have it. And if you don't have Ableton Live, you can get a free 30-day trial of Suite and try out any of the techniques that we talked about today. My name is Bad Snacks. I hope this was really helpful for you, and I hope you have so much fun in your music making journey.